It's your boy Ancient Albatross here as a disembodied voice behind the scenes tonight. But as usual, we have the Cypher Unlimited boys. We got Spigs18 here, Anthony. We got Alpha Dean or Dean. And just as a reminder, if you haven't already, be sure to follow us here on Twitch or subscribe to us over on YouTube. It's a great help. We just hit 1,000 subscribers over on YouTube, but we're trying to reach even greater heights, and we would not have reached this height without y'all. And yeah, it's greatly appreciated. But Dean, what are we doing here tonight?
Man, it is December 2022. Amazingly so. Wow, we've already made it this far into the year. But as we like to do, we're going to do a year in review. But because this year has been so jam-packed with everything, this is going to be part one. Next week, we'll do part two. But this week, that's what it's all about. And we're going to start things off right out the gate. We're going to smack us a home run. We're going to let Anthony tell you about this great thing that's going on right now. And let's jump right into it, eh?
What's up, guys? Hey, see you. Happy to see you guys. Hope everybody's doing well. Happy holidays and all that good stuff. Like Dean said, tonight we're going to break down everything MCG put out today. I know on the original media blast I put out, I said we were going to do everything they put out and all the crowd backer stuff and announcements, but it was freaking too much when I started to write up the show notes. I realized it'll probably be a 3-hour video. So for today's episode, we're only going to talk about the physical and PDF products they pulled out for the year, right? But that's a boatload of stuff. Like this, you'll see once we start going through the list. They really outdid themselves this year. They put out a ton of products. But before we get started with that, I just want to mention the Monte Cook. If you go to the Monte Cook Games store, the online store right now, MCG has a holiday gift program that's actually phenomenal. They will donate a $10 gift card on your behalf or a $10 gift on your behalf to a group of great charities that they listed out, right? And you can use this $10 code to use it as a gift for yourself if you choose not to use it for the charity as well. You could take it off whatever purchase you do online. So to donate to one of the charities, you simply add one or more of the $10 donations to your cart. Just for the record, they will pay for the first donation, right? But if you want to donate to another charity or add an additional $10 to the same charity, you can at your cost, just like you buying a product. And the 3 charities they have up is support Iranian women in their struggle against oppression through the Women's Committee of Iran, the NCRI, crisis prevention for the LGBTQ community via the Trevor Project, and health access for under-resourced community, including those impacted by the war in Ukraine, through Heart to Heart International. This is actually a great way to give back to one of these wonderful organizations, even if you don't have the funds to do so. Because like I said, if you apply to one $10 donation, Monte Cook Games will actually pay the donation for you. So if you want to utilize this, simply enter the code at checkout to make your $10 donation fee. The code is 2022 MCG Holiday Gift. Once again, the code is 2022 MCG Holiday Gift. And yeah, if you could use it to buy yourself something, if you really want to purchase something or purchase a gift to someone else, or you could give to one of these great charities. Either way, it's a win-win for somebody. So yeah, I encourage you to, go use this code one way or another.
Yeah, that's awesome. So you ready to jump in, Ant?
Yeah. So once again, 2020 MCG Holiday Gift.
All right.
So let's get on with the show, guys. Let's start with all the products that came out this year in the order of the month they were released. And like I said earlier, it's going to be a lot. So there was nothing released in 2022 January, but they had their first release in February. Dean,
and like I always say, this right here just proves what I say about doing an MCG Kickstarter. It's the gift that keeps on giving. It's just as a proven fact here. So in February, we got Return of the Ebon Hand. Written by Monte Cook and Sean K. Reynolds. Return to Ebon Hand is a hefty standalone adventure set in Ptolus. It assumes that the original cult activities as described in Ptolus by Monte Cook Games, City by the Spire, have been brought to an end. And if the PCs were the ones who did so, it works well as a sequel to those events. It can also be run without PC involvement, in the prior destruction of the cult. The adventure is suitable for 5e characters, roughly 6th level, and Cypher characters of roughly 3rd tier, can easily be adjusted upwards or downwards in difficulty. This was a great, great adventure, great product. As it says here, Return of the Ebon Hand includes bonus adventure, Grip of the Ebon Hand. This scenario builds a short one-shot adventure from the materials about the Ebon Hand and the tallest Monte Cook City by the Spire. It was originally created for use at Gen Con 2006 and was the first ever tallest scenario run at a public event. It's included in this product and updated for 5e and Cypher system. And I've actually used this as a great one-shot to introduce people to tallest and Cypher system. That is a great one-shot. The whole adventure is awesome. Man, just great stuff.
Anthony? I never actually ran this adventure, but I did read it, and I was gonna scavenge some parts of this adventure for my Ptolus campaign if we ever kick that back up. I'm looking at a couple of members of my game are in chat, so I'm looking at you, Mike. We got to bring that back. But this is an absolutely phenomenal adventure. Yeah, I would highly recommend it, whether you're playing 5e or Cypher. I would prefer Cypher, but yeah, either way, it's a really, really good adventure.
So, and then the next product in February was The Truth of Names. It was a novella set against the evocative world of Monte Cook's Numenera role-playing. Drew, a young explorer, journeys through the hostile wastelands accompanied by a techno-sorcerer who calls himself the Revelation and Imtu, a Regelian whose ancestors descended from the stars. They cross paths with an extraordinary woman who offers the group shelter, food, and safety in their moment of need. She asks for nothing in return, but of course, she has her secrets. And safety in the ninth world waste is never guaranteed.
I'm not gonna lie, I totally forgot this even came out. I actually, when I was making the list, I put it in my cart today. So, along with my, my donation to one of the charities, I put this in my cart today because I actually totally forgot this came out. I never read this. Anybody in chat?
I did read it, so it was really a good read. I mean, again, most of the stuff that's written for Numenera, my take on it is, if you ever want to get a taste of Numenera, read the printed material, the novellas, the novels. What's so cool about it is they're all their own unique take, but it's all Numenera. It just works. And like I said, you never feel like you're not in the ninth world, but you just get these different feelings that, and so it's like a really, truly fleshed out, rich world, and that's something that I love about, all of the content that's written for Numenera in that respect.
And it's not that many pages, right? It's
a novella. I think it's 50 pages or 60 pages or something.
Yeah, I definitely got to read this. Yeah, I actually felt I was doing the show notes and I was going in by Mumford, and I was like, what the hell is Truth of Names? Is this a book that I never played? And I realized it was a novella. But I'm excited to read it. It's in my cart. After this, I'm definitely going to order it.
So, all right, Anthony, so take us into March.
All right, March, my birthday month. All right, the first book that came out in March was by Bruce Cordell. It was called Break the Horizon, which is another Numenera product. This is a phenomenal product. So most people in the ninth world live isolated lives, surrounded by the wild and mysterious unknown. Few people in the steadfast and even few in the beyond venture for their entire lives more than a few miles from the place of their birth. And they're happy that way, but not you. Your dreams extend beyond the horizon. Tales of great wonder and even greater dangers are not cautionary to you. They're lures. During drawing you ever onward to discover an adventure. The secrets of the prior worlds beckon, but the vast distances and dangers they hold are a daunting barrier until now. Break the horizons as mobility to your Numenera campaign. With it, you can traverse the vast distances in the ninth world, finding adventure, encounters, and treasures along the way. This book contains new mounts, commonplace vehicles, Numenera vehicles, ciphers and artifacts that aid in travel, plus a comprehensive index of all travel options from every Numenera product today. New travel-related equipment, PCs can purchase, salvage, and craft. New creatures, NPCs to encounter along the way. Travel-themed GM intrusions, plus an expansive chapter on hazards and encounters. Pepper them in any adventure or travel interlude, or use them as seeds for entire new adventures. The Safe Wayfarer Travel Guide, full of useful in-world advice for seasoned 9 world travelers, plus 2 full adventures that can be integrated into PC's travels or used at their destination. This book is phenomenal. I didn't realize how great this book was. Let's not even talk about the 2 adventures, which are high quality, but this gives you so many more vehicles. And I'm not talking about like just random, these are like all unique and useful vehicles that could be used beyond Numenera. This is actually a great, underrated product. Bruce really did his, he really did his job with this book.
This is one of those books that I will stand on the mountaintop and tell everybody to purchase, because it's just a wonderful resource. Like all the stuff Anthony listed, it's rich, and not only is it rich, but like you said, it's comprehensive, and the vehicles are just, unique and different. The mounts are unique and different, and functional on so many different levels. And these things will also inspire other ideas. You can actually take some of the stuff and look at it through the lens if you wanted to use it in Stars or Fire, your sci-fi game or something like that. It does not have to exclusively be, sanctioned in Numenera, but it is a great resource.
What I really liked about it too is which I don't utilize in most books, but the GM intrusion section in this book stands out to me. Like it's actually really well written, and it gave me intrusion ideas that I wouldn't have normally thought of. And that's the kind of information that I'm looking for in a source book, because a lot of the stuff, like I'm imaginative enough that I could come up with on my own, but some of this stuff was like, hey, I never even thought about that,
Right. It sparks something else.
Yeah,
it sparks something else. And like you said, the whole thing with the GM intrusions, I've become a huge fan of that. Anytime that anything has anything to do with GM intrusions, because honestly, I think GM intrusions are probably one of the best things that Monte Cook Games introduced us to with the Cypher system, because to me, it makes me a better GM. I don't think in terms of me versus the players. I think in terms of what's going to drive the story, what's going to make the story unique, interesting. So I even try to make my GM intrusions, even when a player rolls a 1, I want something different and unique. It does not necessarily have to be detrimental,
I mean, I also like the fact especially with GM intrusions, especially setting specific GM intrusions, is that no 2 GMs tackle intrusions the same way. And so, whether they're helpful or harmful, everyone has their own like little ways of narrating intrusions to make them unique to themselves. So yeah, I once we both love the intrusion mechanic.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I guess
specifically gives you great travel intrusions, to stick on the context of the book.
I mean, and that, when you think about it, and that's what I'm saying, though, it gives you another perspective, that lens. What you're saying is so awesome, Ant, because it's what I like to get people to understand. Again, when you look at a GM intrusion through that lens of it just being a complication versus it being a bad thing. So.
Oh, and just to speak on it too, the cover of this book is phenomenal. And yes, there are like three different vehicles that are it started out in the book on this cover. I'll let you figure it out when you purchase the book.
Yeah.
But the artwork on this is crazy. It's crazy sweet as well.
Yep. And so now we move into the next month, which is April, which happens to be my birthday month. And once again, MCG just went totally ape and gave us a whole lot of goodies. So April started out with the Banewarrens, which is a dynamic mega adventure that sends PCs down into the dungeons below Ptolus and out into the streets. It pits the PCs against other Ptolus adventurers, some self-serving, some downright evil, in a race to seal the Banes before the horror is unleashed upon the world. This mini campaign is suitable for 5e characters roughly 6th level, potentially taking them up to 10th level or so, or Cypher characters roughly 3rd tier. Great campaign book. You know, as they said, mega adventure. I remember this from back in the day. I actually absolutely enjoy reading it. I use bits and pieces. I love the way Ptolus is set up because you don't have to run anything succinctly. You can, pick and choose and pull pieces. And the way all these adventures are set up, you can literally, combine them into your full-on campaign, never even have to write anything yourself, but again, for those of us who like to create and do things like that, these become excellent pieces of inspirational material and excellent pieces to, be subplots and so on and so forth. And this particular one is no different.
Phenomenal. This is a phenomenal adventure. Once again, I didn't run any of the 5e stuff. I didn't run any of these adventures verbatim, but I absolutely love all the Monte Cook Ptolus adventures. I think they're very unique, original, and I've either scavenged or planned to scavenge a lot of all these adventures. I do have one minor gripe with the published Ptolus adventure books, and this is my gripe, right? And you'll see the common theme, but all the adventures are geared towards the same level in either Cypher system or D&D 5e. Instead of, like, I would have really liked if they would have came out with a first level beginner adventure for Ptolus and a level, like a tier 4, 5 adventure for Cypher, because everything is pretty much the middle tiers in all these adventures. So though I think they're wonderful products, I would have loved to see a separate published product, like a tier 1 adventure, not the ones that are in the book, but additional produced product.
Yeah, I mean, I can agree with that, in a lot of respects, but in the same breath, for Cypher system, it's really not too hard to make the adjustment, one way or the other.
Yeah, I know.
5e,
We have this argument all the time, D.
I know. Same argument. Like I said, I'm saying again, I'm saying me personally, but it's and I get it. I'm not saying what you're saying is a bad thing. I'm just saying Cypher, not as difficult to make the adjustment. 5e,
I absolutely agree.
5e on the other hand might be a little more difficult, but again, you're right.
But even for Cypher system, like someone that's spent their entire gaming life playing D&D and starting their Cypher adventures in Ptolus, for a brand new GM, it would be helpful if they could pick up 3 of these Ptolus adventures and run them consecutively and tier up from tier 1 to tier 6.
Yeah, I agree. I would not argue that point at all. You're absolutely right. Well, since there's so much going on in April, Anthony, you take the next product that's coming out.
The second one this is probably my favorite Ptolus adventure book. And this is the one that I've actually run something directly from this book. But it's the Ptolus City of Adventure. Right? Ptolus is truly the city of adventure. These 3 hefty adventures take you into the city streets the halls of power in the massive and labyrinth dungeons below ground. They're suitable for 5e parties, once again, 5th and 6th level, Cypher system characters, 2nd and 3rd tier, and can be easily adjusted upward and downward to fit into your campaigns. There you go, Dean. They added it. Look, this 96-page title brings the PDF adventures of Doctor and the Ghoul, the Ruined Blood's Blessing, and the Return of the Ebon Hand into print. I personally ran the Ruined Blood Blessing.
I've run Return.
Phenomenal adventure. And I've read both of the other two. Return of the Ebon Hand, we actually spoke about earlier.
And remember, you played in the Return of the Ebon Hand because I ran it.
Yep. These are 3 high-quality adventures, and I would highly recommend if you have the Ptolus books in print to go out and pick up this product, because it's definitely, even if you're not going to run them verbatim, will help you out tremendously in showing you how to write adventures for Ptolus.
Exactly. And I mean, I really can't add any more to that other than, yes, these 3 adventures are a lot of fun to run. There's a lot of leeway to dance around. Like I said, we did a section out of Return of the Ebon Hand. I think we did it on a stream. I think it's out there somewhere. It's actually great, a lot of fun. The Doctrine of Ghoul, Ruined Blood Blessings, again.
I don't know if I mentioned it was Sean K. Reynolds and Bruce Cordell that wrote these.
Yes. So with that being said, we're going to move on to, once again, more stuff in April. Amazingly, we also got First Responders by Shanna, Germain, and Bruce Cordell. We've talked about First Responders. We did a walkthrough of First Responders, and it's absolutely a brilliant piece of work. I'm going to read the first couple of paragraphs to the opening of the book. I'm not going to read all of it because it's a lot. But a fire roars through an apartment building. Rescuers struggle through surging flames to search for stranded families. But meanwhile, sparks drift over to the nearby gas station. A train derailment has toppled a truckload of nuclear waste, exposing trapped passengers to the dangerous radiation. But reaching them risks shifting the wreckage and spilling even more. A grumbling volcano threatens efforts to rescue lost hikers when the lava begins to flow. Whole towns are suddenly at risk. And there's floods, pandemics, earthquakes, and other crises that put lives and communities at risk. These are the monsters of a different sort, and they call for a different kind of hero. First Responders puts a new spin on the adventure game and introducing a system for mega challenges that let you take on disasters of all sorts. And, well, I guess I am reading it off. First Responders gives you new rules and guidelines for adventure-sized disaster scenarios as challenging and exciting as any RPG scenario. These are largely resolved through wit and skill rather than combat. Roster-style parties, where you run multiple characters with different areas of expertise over the course of your campaign, calling up just the right expert for each disaster. New character options, including the responder type and loads of disaster-related gear. Half a dozen scenarios, adventure-length disasters that pit your team against terrible odds, plus everything you need to create your own. Easily portable to Numenera and other Cypher Systems games, incorporate natural, man-made, supernatural mega challenges into any Cypher game. I have to say that by far, this was one of the best things ever to be given to us for Cypher System. It gave you the ability to play a capable, but not magical or any type of character. You have the ability to make these type of characters. Some of the mechanics, the idea of turning your disaster, things like fire and so on and so forth, into, things that you would face off against was brilliant. I love this product. I love it. I've used it multiple times. I can't say enough nice things about it. And
first of all, this is the first bang of the year. This is like if we're going over, okay, this is like the year to date. Yeah, there's been some really good products that came out, Break the Horizon comes to mind. But this is when the bangers start. This is when they start really rolling out the heavy hitters. This is the gut the heavyweight gut punch in the ninth round that's gonna start, crippling you and knocking you down. So first responders, I think the best way I could describe it is underrated. I think that people don't realize how sweet this book is. Like, this is Cypher's version of D20 modern without specifically stating it. Not only is it a self-contained like a setting in itself that's hella fun to play, like doing these responder teams. This is the actual epitome of what it means to be a book that's used for all of Cypher system, for any of the genres, any of the settings, because all the rules and skills and skills, foci, everything that's given in this book is easily converted to any of the other setting books. This is MCG at its best, making toolkit setting books. And,
let me piggyback on that real quick before you finish. What Anthony is saying, it is absolutely the book that is pluggable to any other thing that Cypher system has put out, even the other toolkit books it plugs into. And it's just crazy that you could look at it through that, through that particular, place at your table, that this book allows everything to operate and it works. So
yeah, I've actually never run first responders, but I've used this book a hell of a lot of times. Because
yeah,
every
I'm
time
not
I'll think of an idea, I'll run and then I'll go, oh, wait a minute, that might be in first responders. And then I'll look it up and find it in there.
It's kind of crazy because I call this is part of the trifecta, as far as I'm concerned. First responders, we're going to get to the next one, the origin and claim the sky are.
I mean, they came from the same Kickstarter.
They came, right. It's crazy. They came from the same, but they're literally, for me, they're the trifecta, because, when we
I
get
don't
to
think it's the ultimate toolkit book, but I do think it's pretty close. And for this year, if we're looking at 2022, this would be the front runner right now for the biggest banger of the year for them. And like I said, it's underrated. I would love to see what their sales numbers are on this.
I honestly think a lot of people don't understand the book. They don't get it, because even like when I've taken it to the game store to run demos and stuff, people just kind of, first responders, the fireman, what is this?
You think it's because MCG has never officially made a demo game for this?
No, right? I don't think they've ever done a demo game for it, nor do I think, MCG is different in their promotion. They don't promote their stuff the same way everybody else does, but maybe that should be our next, game we run on air. Let's run a first responders.
Yeah. Like, we love doing impromptu things. If guys in chat hit us up on Discord after this, and if we can get a group of 4 to do a first responders game, we could definitely do that on stream.
Yep. Yeah, let us know. And even throughout, like, what kind of disaster you want us to do. So, yeah.
I really, really think that the setting in this book is extremely underrated.
Yeah.
It's someone in chat said that there's nothing like it, and there really isn't.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people use it as a toolkit book, which is phenomenal for that as well. But don't underestimate or sleep on the setting. The setting is freaking sweet.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, the whole concept of let's just put it out there, people. The whole concept is that your table you guys make a team of responders, of first responders, and everybody makes 2 or 3 different type of responders. You might have you got your tech guy, and you have your geologist, and you have your fireman, and then the other person might play EMT, and another one can play a doctor. And it's so really cool because you build this team, and then when the scenarios start unfolding, that's when you decide what your team complement is going to be, what character each player is going to play, you're going to bring to the table to, you know, deal with this particular disaster. Cool, mind blowing, you know, because this is a concept that you don't normally get in games, you know, especially most tabletop RPGs. You're focused on one character, you know, you want to, you know, min-max him to the nth degree. But this is like playing those TV shows. What is it, Chicago PD or 911? You know, the old TV show Emergency. You know, I know I'm dating myself, but you know what I'm saying. This is like, to me, it's like so cool.
Billy York Fells asks, "Hey guys, good evening. Quick question: do any of these new breaks bring more complex rules on long distance traveling or forced march?" I don't believe there's anything on forced march, but there is long distance traveling in Break the Horizon for Numenera.
But I'm not going to say it's more complex.
Yeah,
You know, because that's not the nature of Cypher system in general. It's not about heavy
but there is
complexity,
long distance traveling.
but there is long distance travel rules, yeah. So
I'm not so sure about forced march, but that could easily, forced march could easily be handled with GM intrusions, and we could definitely give you ideas on that as well, though.
so
I'm not sure if there is any forced march rules.
I don't know if there are either. I don't remember. I haven't touched the book in a while.
No, I mean, Break the Horizon doesn't have any forced march rules for sure, but it might be in another book.
Yeah. So moving forward into
Yeah, you could do this one, Dean, because I know you said it. You strategically set it up so you could do it. Go ahead.
it's the month of May. And yes, I really want to do this one because I'll be honest with you. I have never in my life found a setting that I was willing to run verbatim without necessarily adding, or not going to say not adding anything, but feeling like I had to. In this particular one, The Origin by Bruce Cordell is the first in the 40 plus years of me gaming that I've ever picked up a setting book and fell into it, immersed into it, like, oh my God, I don't have to change anything. I don't have to do anything extra. Everything I need to run an adventure is right here in front of me. And the crazy part about it is because I don't have to add anything, but the fact that the improvisational cues are there, it's even better. The Origin.
Going into it, you didn't even read you went straight into your spiel.
I know, I couldn't help it. So the background is this. The Origin is a gritty, mysterious setting in which characters master emergent superpowers as they face nefarious groups, superpowered opponents, and dark forces, somehow connected to the memories of the world that met a different fate. The Origins includes a mysterious backstory for PCs to piece together, a world that looks at first identical to our own, but has been altered somehow in a dark and frightening way. Rules for PCs to gain and master shocking new abilities over the course of play. Dozens of new ciphers and artifacts. Dozens of new monstrous creatures, extra-dimensional beings, and weird metahumans. 3 full adventures plus 1 adventure interlude that draws characters into the discovery and mastery of their powers and introduces the sinister forces arrayed against them and the entire world. This is the bomb. That whole thing, that last little blurb that I read, that right there for me was like the kicker, because it literally gives you the ability to take the characters in gameplay through acquiring their powers.
So how's that concept work? As someone, I've read the book, I've never played The Origin, I've read it, and I hear you talk its praises all day long, every other day, but I've actually never played The Origin. How does that work exactly?
So what is, so the whole thing is there's the adventure that you get your abilities at. There are people who have these memories, and these memories come up, you start feeling like getting migraines and stuff like this. But there's a system in place in the game. I don't want to kind of give it away, but there's a system in place in the game for randomized abilities to crop up through the players. And you can, you know, they make difficulty rolls versus these things cropping up. And as they conquer those abilities, their powers start to solidify. It's
So do you choose your powers or you get your powers randomly?
you can do both. That's the beautiful part about it. It depends on, that's a conversation you should have at the beginning at your table. Do you want randomized powers or do people want to really pick their powers? But the whole process would still be taking them through the actual in-game idea. It would be the in-game idea. They could go through all of the same things. And then, of course, they would have their focus that they chose with their powers. Or you could randomly let people get them. What I did, just so everybody knows, like at my table, I had everybody throw out 3 or 4 different powers that they were interested in. I told them that these were all going to be put into a bucket and randomized. And you may not get one of the ones you chose, but you will get something that's from this randomized bucket of what everybody put together. And it actually worked out pretty cool.
Oh, that's
and
really cool. I like that idea.
So, and then what I did was I took it another step further because of the way it was all set up. It just hit me like in the middle of the game. I allowed them before their powers were locked in that they could shift powers between each other. So some people like, well, they like the random thing that they got. Other people was like, well, I like his more than mine. And so I let them, transfer powers between them. It was great. It worked out awesome. My group now, they started back in the summer. They're tier 3 now, and they're loving it. It's a great, great book. I love it. Like I said, never in my life have I picked up a setting book and been totally stoked for it like this.
This is the setting. This is one of the settings that I don't see too many people post games for, but I see people on social media keep this setting with a lot of praise. Like everyone's like, oh, this is an awesome setting. This is an awesome, I really want to play this. But I don't see many people posting games for the Origin. I wonder what that is.
It's funny. I haven't posted anything either, like to do it online, but I play it I've been playing it every other week at the game store since July.
Yeah, but I see this come up like on Twitter a lot. You see people, the Origin is like how people like in Twitter or Facebook, people love to give them the random top 10 favorite games I want to play. And this comes up, the Origin comes up a lot, surprisingly.
It's really good stuff, Ed. I mean, I can't sing its praises enough. I love this book, love it. So, and I don't know. I don't know why it doesn't, come up as an adventure. But you know what? I guess I have to jump back in and do something online. Because I got an idea to do like a 6 to 9 part mini series, mini campaign. Maybe 12. Maybe we'll do that.
Yeah, what you call it, WTF, PWDD. I'm sorry if I destroyed your name. Well, I feel like there's a big GM shortage these days for all systems. Whenever I post something online, it fills super quickly. Same here. You're absolutely 100% correct. We have a Discord server with almost, well over 4,000 people, and it seems like it's the same 10 or 15 GMs posting games all the time. So you're 100%. I'm with you on there. Amen to that.
Yes, we will definitely agree because come on, what was it last time, Anthony? You posted a game and it filled up in what, less than 10 minutes?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I always find it weird when someone's like, oh, I can't find a group. I think he, she or they are absolutely right. That this, for some reason, it seems to be way more players than GMs nowadays.
Well, it makes perfect sense. You got to think about it. We live in gaming, the platinum age of gaming, but you have to think about it. Most people are seeing gaming and they're being introduced to it because this actor plays or this celebrity does this, or they're seeing Vox Machina and so on and so forth. But these people have never been exposed to it, and so it's up to us you know, those of us who've been doing it for the last, you know, 10, 20 years to, you know, start introducing people. One thing that's going on at the game store is that we're actually doing Learn a GM. We're doing Learn a GM once a month.
I mean, speaking of which, just go to it's new GM month period.
Yep.
With Monte Cook Games here. You can definitely go check out the new GM month. And Elaine is talking about working on mentoring new GMs at their comic book shop as well. And it's new Game Master month.
Yep. Yep, it is. And Kezarek, you're right. You know, that's me. I'm the forever GM. But, you know, it's like, it's not that I don't have, I get a chance to play, but every time I start playing, the GM in me jumps up and be like, yo, I can run this, you know, so you can't help yourself.
Yeah. So far, this is the second big product that came out. Actually, the third of the big line books, you know, and once again, if you like supers and you like a completely original take on superheroes, pick up the Origin. It's phenomenal. It's fantastic. Well, I think one of the issues with MCG dropping all these 7 books consecutively every year is you have all these great books, but not enough time all players
run them
to
all.
play them. Yeah.
You know, but that being said, before you jump on the next stuff, Anthony, that's the other thing about the Origin book too. It's just a great read. It is a wonderful, you know, even though it's a setting book, it's really a big story. It's really, really a good read. So take that for what it's worth, people.
And for all the three other GMs in chat, do yourself a favor. Trust me when I tell you this. Sign up for someone's game and be a player 1 or 2 times a year. Whether it's going to a con and just signing up for a random game, or going on a Discord server or a group for your game of choice, you know, or hit up the Cypher Unlimited Discord, you know, to shamelessly self-plug if you want to get in a Cypher game. Because not only is it great just to let go of the reins, the steering wheel for a little bit and let someone else take control, it makes you a better GM. Because it's just a lot easier just to visualize what players like when you're the one experiencing it on the other side, and you know what you like and dislike, and it's easier to read a table.
Yeah, I will second that, Anthony. I'll second that definitely. As a player, that's what I say. As a player, a lot of times I end up being a GM again because just as a player, I get inspired. You know, ideas come. You know, you and I do that to each other all the time. I run a game, and the next thing you know, hey, I had an idea because you did this, and then you run it, and I've got an idea. So,
yep.
Go ahead, Ed.
All right. So the next thing that came out. What month are we in?
We are in May.
In May with a Planebreaker Miniatures. I don't know if Al is still with us. They came in 3 packs. I'm not a miniature guy personally. I get the, you know, because I back everything on the everything level. I get the, what you call it, the miniature packs. I never actually print them. I've been meaning to get Al, I mean, because I know Dean has access to a 3D printer. I've been meaning to get Dean to print them for me. I'm just a lazy ass. But the Planebreaker Miniature pack came, the first pack came with an accumulator, a portal dragon, a bounty hunter, a villainous wizard, a planewalker. The second pack came with an adventurer, a shambler, a psychic war veteran, a sprig, an incarnate. And the third pack came with a planar adventurer and an observer. Once again, I didn't print any of these, but I'm sure that they high quality. I just don't have the time to paint minis.
Yeah, I haven't printed them yet either because I've been busy. I haven't done a lot with my 3D printer over there. I need to get to printing because I want to print those up as well. But yeah, they are the STL files look great. You know, you can, if you have them, pull them up on your computer, take a look at them. You can look, they are completely 3D, so you can shift around the whole 9. Great stuff. I've become stuck on painting minis these days. So yeah.
Yeah, I know you always talk about painting minis. Yeah, I just don't have the patience, dude.
Dude, it's so relaxing.
And
It's,
also too, is we played the majority of our games on freaking line. So
yeah, but you know, now, like I said, now with certain things, I'm just looking at it like, you know, the fact that the STLs come the way there, you can make tokens out of them now and stuff like that. There's a lot of benefits, you know, to it. But
look,
I get it.
I got twin 6-year-olds, dude. Like I pull one of those out, start painting, and be in that GI Joe box before I know it, I'll never see that thing again.
Trust me, I get it. You know what? I'm proud of you. I'm happy for you. Congratulations. But I do not envy you with twins at 6 years of age. Not at all. And boys on top of that, yeah.
Oh, that is a good idea. Get them to try to paint them.
I mean, it is
I
relaxing.
do want to print them up at some time, especially I still have all the Numenera STL files. Is that what they called? I still got all the Numenera ones that we backed that Kickstarter. Remember a couple years back?
Here's one.
Yeah, those things are freaking sweet.
And I wonder what I did with my Earthshaker. He was a writer somewhere. But these are some of the bigger ones that I printed up, you know. But yeah, lots of good stuff out there, guys.
Either way, if you're into minis, definitely check these out. And I believe you can get all the packs right now on the online store. But once again, is you have to you only get an STL file. Do they give you an option to actually get them printed through them? No, right?
Well, if you backed at the right level, you're gonna get the physical ones as well. But other than that, no, you
currently right now on the store.
No. Not that I haven't seen anything like that yet.
I know the Numenera, which is an entirely separate company, they actually had an option that you could purchase the physical ones, but
right.
you don't, these you can. So. And chat is confirming that. Thank you so much, chat.
Yeah, okay, Kazarek. He said, you paint on my Imperial Guard, we're going to Disney World. Nice. Oh, man.
You want to read the next one out, Dean?
Yeah, so we move into June. Once again, that gift that keeps on giving. Look at this. We've had something in April, May, February. I mean, and now we're into June. This is awesome. Night of Dissolution by Monte Cook. The threads of hidden conspiracy lead the characters into a web of insane cultures, wild chaos magic, and horrors from the primordial days of the world. Can they stave off this evil while a barbarian horde ravages the land about Ptolus and lays siege to the city? The Night of Dissolution is a mega adventure laced with urban intrigue, high action, and delves into the dungeons beneath the city. It features this title will enhance any Ptolus campaign to include a description of the Pythoness house, a haunted oracle brothel that hides a trove of weapons vital in the fight against the cults of chaos, a huge secret temple of chaos where insidious fanatics worship the dreaded Galshut, details of the citywide network of covert spies and agents that extends even into the highest echelons of Ptolus elite society. The adventure culminates in a race to stave off the Night of Dissolution, a dark time long foretold when the slumbering Galshut will awaken in their hidden lairs deep below the city and bring catastrophe and woe to the world. This mini campaign picks up right where the adventures in chapter 33 of the Ptolus Monte Cook City by the Spires leave off. It complements the adventure in the book nicely, but it's not necessary to have played those adventures to run the Night of Dissolution. This title is suitable for 5e. Characters of roughly 4th level, not 5th level this time. Potentially taking them up to 9th level or so, or Cypher system characters of roughly 2nd tier. So
this is the one that that chat was talking about that goes directly from if you own the core Ptolus book,
yes,
you can actually just go straight from the Ptolus book to this. Once again, it's another phenomenal adventure. Like all the other Ptolus adventures, I think is actually, this was PDF only. This is actually worth getting on that strength alone if you're running the adventure in the book, you know, and you want to keep the characters going. Monte Cook knows how to do Ptolus. He created the freaking thing. And it's freaking awesome. So yeah, I highly recommend this. This is another adventure that I read, never ran.
I haven't run this one either, but it is a fun adventure. You know, it's a fun read. Next hand.
Yeah, hold on one second. I'm sending Al a message. Read the next one.
GM Intrusion Deck also came out in the month of June. The GM Intrusion Deck gives you 300 intrusion ideas on a 100-card deck. Each card offers a combination of intrusions: a social intrusion, an intrusion for miscellaneous situation, an intrusion for wow, where'd that come from? Combat intrusions, social intrusions, and intrusions for miscellaneous situations. Need an intrusion on the fly or some inspiration when planning your game? Just draw a card or two, pick one you like, and just use them to inspire some other great ideas. This is a great product. I love my GM. I love my decks, but the intrusion decks have always been great because they do that. They, you know, literally give you, you know, the fodder to start being able to visualize intrusions.
This is the intrusion deck is freaking awesome. You know, I didn't think I needed this until I actually got it in my hand. That's why I'm so excited for the weird, because I'm excited to see what they're going to do. I didn't realize how helpful the intrusion deck actually is. Even like I said, I'm somebody that tends to come up with creative and innovative intrusions myself. This is just a good freaking read that you don't have to, even if you don't want to use this, you know, as a spur of the moment type of thing, having to fit into your game, which is phenomenal doing. I love that concept to begin with. It gives you ideas for, even if you're not playing the game, just pick up the card and just start looking at it, you know, reading a couple of intrusions over and over again. And it gives you game ideas. Like I got the intrusion deck right in front of me. I'll pull a card right now. Because once again, when I was waiting for these guys, I was just looking through the intrusion deck. All right, let's see what I got here. All right, the card I pulled, interaction, an uncomfortable condition. The weather, annoying insects, the odor of someone or something nearby is distracting the NPC. Until the situation improves, they'll complain rather than talk about an intended topic. Not only could you just pull that and use that as some random act, it actually gives you the personality of an NPC you could introduce in your game as a character of, you know, it's such that you could just, this is what I'm gonna use as my character's personality trait. Yep. Without having to even insert it in the story. It's such a good deck.
Yeah, it really, really is.
Yeah, and the combat intrusion, the character's foe reacts with sudden savagery. They gain an additional action this round, which they can use to attack. You know, that was that basically the intrusion of, remember the story you always tell about the guy who seems like a regular lackey until you hit him one time, he's actually a master swordsman.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, and then we move on to July.
Yep.
July was big. July had the massive, hey, look, we gave it to you. The Sea Soul was released. Cypher Unlimited, Cypher System Open License.
Yeah, this was, I put this on the list. This wasn't a physical product, but this is actually changes the game for a ton of additional physical products you could grab. You know, this may not affect us this year, but I think out of everything on this list, this might have the biggest effect for MCG going forward. Because we're gonna have so many different, not only individual content creators, but you might see some bigger companies, established gaming companies, producing content for Cypher System under the CISO, or, you know, open gaming license. So I'm really excited for this. So we definitely had to add this to the list, even though it isn't a physical book.
Right. and the fact that they also came out with the Cypher system reference document. Those two things are awesome because now basically 90%, maybe a little more of the entire Cypher system rulebook is in a reference document online. Another huge thing, you know, it opens up the doors for a lot of people to be exposed to the Cypher system. You know, so between the, you know, Seesaw, which is the open license, and the CSRD, which is the reference document, man, like Anthony said, game changer. And for those of us who really love the Cypher system, we got to like make sure we let people know about this because, you know, everybody knows about the reference documents for D&D or Pathfinder. Now we got one for Cypher.
Yeah, we definitely gonna go more in depth on this next week when we go over all the announcements they made for 2022 and all the Kickstarters or crowdbacker projects they put up. But yeah, I had to put it in this way because technically it's not one product, but it's, you know, has the opportunity to be thousands of products.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
so what happened in August, Dan?
So then we go to August and then we hit another banger. We hit Path of the Planebreaker, the 5e version. Wah, wah, wah. It's still a banger nonetheless, right? The cover looks gorgeous. I'll read a little excerpt, which is a lot, but it's unlock the mysteries of the planes. A cursed moon hurtles through the multiverse, crashing from one plane to the next, never at rest, forever fleeing a catastrophe that predates existence itself. Behold the Planebreaker.
Yeah, and this book.
Hold on a second. I'm gonna go over everything that's on there.
Okay.
Dean, you gotta think of people that never seen this product before. Path of the Planebreaker for 5e introduces the dynamic dynamic, what the hell?
Enigmatic.
No, not even that. I lost my page. Hold on a sec.
Oh.
Interplanar object that unlocks access to planes for characters at all levels. This book includes the Planebreaker and its fascinating city of Timeborn, home to refugees, planar travelers, and residents from across the plains. Base an entire campaign in Timeborn, or experience its intrigues as you pass through. Dozens of exotic planes to explore, venture into the Citadel of the Fate Eater, get lost in the Grove of Crows, or find despair in the Tomb of Tomorrow. They're all connected by the path, a sort of planar road that travels behind the Planebreaker. New creatures, NPCs, magic items, spells for the DM to introduce, plus 2 exciting plane hopping adventures to make it easy to introduce PCs to Planebreaker and planar travel. New playable species, that's D&D stuff. Feats, subclasses, spells for players. Play changeable Chimaran, a shadow rogue, or cleric of the multiverse domain. I read this, love the setting. We actually had Bruce come on and play us a one shot of the 5e version. It was freaking awesome. I just can't wait for the Cypher version.
Exactly. I've actually run a Cypher version of the one adventure that comes with the book called Tyrant's Key. Yeah. And the Cypher stuff is going to be wonderful. The 5e stuff is great. You know, it's 5e, nothing against 5e, but it's just not Cypher. Yeah. But all the stuff that Anthony says, all the new stuff in there are really, really freaking cool.
I will say this though, at GameOCon, I think this was probably the one adventure that they were running at GameOCon that had the most buzz about it. Like everyone, they had a lot of people wanting to play this, and it gives you that Planescape vibe, which is never a bad thing.
It like I said, I ran the Cypher version of it at Gen Con, and it was the same thing. At Gen Con,
they had the Cypher version available at Gen Con?
The
Oh, no,
Cypher version.
you turned it into the Cypher version.
No. The Cypher version is in one of the products that's coming up, but I had my book by then. You know, so the Cypher version is there available for you in the 10 years of gaming.
Yeah.
So you can do it there. So that's why I was able to run it. It was great, good stuff.
Yeah, it's a what you call it. It's a phenomenal setting. It's interesting. Like I said, the 5e version. If you're a big fan of 5e, you're a big fan of Monte Cook's old work in Planescape, you know, or you're a big fan of like a planar hopping. This is the setting for you. I'm just personally waiting for the Cypher version, which I believe comes out in March of next year.
So yeah, they said sometime soon, and you know, of course, you know, just wait. You're gonna love it.
or pick up the 5e version if you play 5e.
Yeah, in the 5e version, like I said, I have my 5e version over there, and I've actually had people go online and buy the 5e version because I take it to show it off at the game store, and a lot of the 5e heads there loved it. You know, thought it was cool. You know, throwback to Planescape. Good stuff.
Oh, Brandon said it's the Cypher System version is February, even sooner.
Even better.
Nice.
So September rolled in, and you know, those of us who went to Gen Con got this book, you know, a month early, but the street date was the 10 years of adventure. And basically celebrating the 10th anniversary of Monte Cook Games, this 212-page limited edition hardcover collection, 10 Years of Adventures, brings you 10 exciting adventures for Numenera, Cypher System, and the Strange.
Real quick, what did I put in parentheses for the author?
Everybody laughing out loud. Yeah, I should have said that. So yeah, that's the author, written by everybody, you know. 10 Years of Adventure collects adventures into 212-page hardcover, downloadable handouts, and pre-generated characters. For Numenera, there was Forgetting Doomsday by Shanna Germain, The Hideous Game by Monte Cook, Shards of the Looking Glass by Charles Ryan, and The Scheme of the Backbone Bride by Shanna Germain. I've actually run all those adventures at different Gen Cons. Great adventures. I love them. Then we moved on to The Strange. They had the Estacology Code by Bruce Cordell, another awesome adventure. For Cypher System, there was Assault on Singularity-based multiplayer, or should I say multi-party adventure by Sean K. Reynolds. This is a brilliant adventure because it's actually run by multiple GMs simultaneously. Great adventure. Castaways by Charles Ryan, by far my favorite published Cypher System adventure out there. You know, great for one-shots, great for introducing people to Cypher System, shows its versatility and brings together a whole lot of ideas. The Infinity Shift by Dennis Detweiler, which is another good one that I ran at a Gen Con years ago. The Takings by Charles Ryan, which Anthony and I both ran at Gamehole Con. And then Tyrant's Key by Bruce Cordell, also presented for 5e. You know, this adventure is just so cool. Tyrant's Key is a really cool adventure. It introduces the Planebreaker ideology so cleanly and succinctly, you will not be disappointed. This is an awesome book. If you do not have this book, you do yourself a favor, purchase it. This is great for introducing anybody to Cypher System.
Even if you're a collector of MCG products, this is actually a great book to have because it has so many MCG like special adventures that a lot of people remember. Like this has a lot of their classic adventures in, like what your guys said, and you know, the Assault or Singularity base. That's a classic MCG adventure that people have played through multiple conventions over many years. I think that adventure is probably like 5 or 6 years old, right? Might be older than that.
Yeah.
You know, I've probably played that like 2 or 3 times at cons. And it's a great book. It's a great piece of MCG history.
Yeah, you're right. It's a great piece of history. And like we said, some of those adventures in there are classics. Some of those adventures in there are, you know, they bring back lots of memories. You know, you get some of the adventures where you can see the beginnings of MCG, you know, and the Cypher system itself, where they were taking chances, doing different things, but you also see that, you know, they knew what they were doing. Great.
Also,
great.
chat asked if it's a limited availability. I believe it is, but it is currently still available at the MCG online store, so you can pick up a physical copy if you wanted one.
Yeah, get a copy while they're still available.
Yeah, I think
You
so.
really won't be disappointed with it. Like I said, Castaways, I can't say enough nice things about that one.
The adventure we ran at GamerCon was freaking awesome.
Oh yeah, the Takings is great, and Tyrant's Key is great. Like I said, they're all look, you know, hey, just that guy.
Doomsday is pretty sweet too. That's another game that I played like at Gen Con 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah, Forgetting Doomsday, that was the first Gen Con we went to together.
Yeah.
That's when that one came out. And you know, guys, hey, remember, there's a $10 gift card out there from MCG. If you don't have a copy of this, get on there and get that, you know, get that $10. Get that $10 off of this, you know, because it's worth every penny.
The next product is the Cypher System playmat, the new revised one. This thing is freaking awesome. If anyone that uses any of the Cypher System playmats, this is like twice the size of the MCG, the normal playmat, right? This thing is freaking awesome. Like, I can't say it enough. I used to be able to use the old playmats as like my mouse pad. This thing is too big for even that. It is freaking large. I think it's 24 by 32. So it basically covers the whole table. And look, I can even show you this. This thing is so freaking awesome that I actually have extra ones for whenever we get our giveaway done. Ready to give away. Look, they're still in the cases.
I just opened this one up. Look at that, guys. That is a beauty. Yes, so huge. I love everything about it. These mats are awesome. I love setting up the tables and putting them out, you know, and it draws the eye. If you guys are doing demos or ever doing anything like that, throw out one of these play mats. This one and the new Monero one that they came out with.
Yeah.
These are like,
yeah, I got that one as well. Somewhere scattered.
These are eye drawers.
Also, the information on there is actually extremely useful. I know that there's not that many rules in Cypher System that you have to memorize, but trust me, this happens to the best of us. If you're in the heat of the story or you're thinking about the next move the players might do, sometimes you forget even the simplest of rules. So it's just good to have something in front of you to look down and go, oh, okay, yeah, okay, this is what I need to do.
Absolutely. Yeah, well, the one thing I tell you too, having it on the table with your new players, you know, and you bring that to their attention, and since everything is around both edges, it's great. Just make sure you like, hey, look, your dice rolls are here, your difficulty rolls are here, and it just starts clicking. You know, it's really kind of cool.
Do you have it open in front of you? Because I think this mat is actually different than the other mats, because I think this is all different information. What's on the?
This one has across here.
I think, you know, the older mats will have the same information on both sides, but I think this one actually has different information on both, on either.
So you got task difficulty, armor, weapons damage, distances, effort cost, damage hazards. And then let's see the other side.
Yeah, damage hazards isn't on the old mat.
Well, on and like actually it's the same thing on both sides, but yeah, damage hazards. Yeah, the same thing on both sides. Oh, wait a minute. There's actually some more stuff. Minor and major effects, damage track. So task difficulty, armor, and weapons damage are there, but then special rolls, minor and major effects, and the damage track is all on the opposite side.
You know,
so
you could fit more stuff on if you had a GM cape.
Yes, the GM cape is next. And we need to get like all the little Velcro sticks.
That wasn't my joke. I robbed it from Al and Chad.
Exactly.
Still a quality joke.
So yeah, but yeah, this is a great item. I love it. Like I said, I love setting it up when I set my demo table up at the game store. It's kind of nice having my own table when I walk in. It says reserved.
The next thing that came out in September was the Cypher system dice set. What can we say? This is freaking awesome. You know, I love all their dice. I buy all their dice. Once again, the only issue I have with the Cypher system dice sets is that you only get 4. I know you only need 4 dice, but I'm greedy. I want the full set even though you don't need them. You know, I can't help it, guys. I'm greedy.
I'm a diceaholic. You already know I have a problem. I just got new dice today from a Kickstarter. Some hollow brass dice that were monk themed. Cause yeah, what? Yeah. So yeah, of course you want a full set. It's dice.
Yeah. I mean, but technically a full set of Cypher dice is those 4 dice.
Yeah, I know it's those 4 dice, but I'm just saying we want our typical 7 dice, of course.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, but their dice, they always come, and I love the Cypher system dice. It has the you know, the CSR logo and the 20, you know, classic. It's freaking awesome. I claimed my dice. For some reason, I forgot to claim them, and I claimed my dice this week. It should be getting in the mail.
Yeah, I didn't claim my dice yet. I was trying to wait to see if another book or something came.
Yeah, I always try to get. I hate having to spend $7 to get like one thing delivered. So I usually try to wait for, you know, 2 or 3 products to come out at a time.
The graphic novelty wife says she has her Crown Royal bag is full.
Yeah.
Oh my God. If you only knew how many dice I actually have, you know what? I can actually show people this while we're talking. Let's keep going, Ant.
All right, and Jason, you are a mind reader because the next book that came out was The Darkest House in print. The last banger of the year, I would say. Yeah. All right, for those, you know, The Darkest House was an online game, but it was a strictly digital version of playing a digital horror adventure that could use any setting. I mean, any game genre. It didn't have to be specific to MCG or D&D 5e. It could be played with Pathfinder characters. It could be played with D&D characters. It could be played with Savage World characters. But it was a digital product only. But, you know, they released a 296-page hardcover book, you know, and it's in a physical product, which was entirely, this came out of nowhere. This wasn't even mentioned when they kickstarted this project. They just turned around and said, hey, look, we made this, check it out. We made a physical book out of it. It's a freaking awesome, awesome book. I'm not gonna lie, when I first heard, when like I told Javier, when I first heard that they were making this into a physical product instead of a digital, you know, adventure, I was a little skeptical. Because the way, if you played The Darkest House online, you would have been skeptical too. There was a lot of bells and whistles that you can't really translate well into a physical product, but they managed to pull it off. And yeah, I'm just amazed how beautiful this book looks and how useful it is to run it without having the digital tools, just running it directly from the book.
What's kind of cool is that they also give prompts within the book in order to use them simultaneously. So like, because there's like a lot of soundscapes and stuff that go along with it. There's a lot of imagery that goes along with it. And it's kind of cool because, like I said, I've run The Darkest House and I've actually put it up on the, you know, I got a 65-inch in the front room and I put it up on the 4K screen and those eerie sounds and stuff, and now having a physical book where all I have to do is worry about those things as opposed to the behind the scenes game master stuff that I can do right from the book. Using the two conjunctively is awesome.
Not only that, it gives you there's great advice inside this book on how to run horror games. The adventure itself is top Monte Cook Games at the height of. Everyone knows that Monte Cook is capable of doing some incredible shit, right? This is reminding everyone Monte Cook could do incredible shit. The adventure itself is absolutely freaking awesome. It's, like Jason says, one of the creepiest things to read, to play, to be a GM, to be a player. You truly appreciate Monty's mind. Like I always say, he has one of the illest pen games in the gaming industry. And this just, solidifies that fact.
Yeah. I mean, Darkest House is awesome, and so useful, can be dropped into any setting, any game that you're running. Just a nice twist, breaks things up. We had a great debate with somebody because I made the statement that it was system agnostic, and they were like, well, it has its own system and blah, 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 which is funny. Yes, it does have its own system in order to make it agnostically useful for any other system. How about that? It's really cool.
Essentially, it has a simplified rule set, and there's rules for porting over any character from any other game. The Darkest House itself, the house itself, is easily convertible into any current story campaign that you're running, any system. And when we played the demo, we didn't play the demo based on the book. We played the demo based on the app. We were given characters. One was from Pathfinder, one was from Cypher system, one was from 5e, and one was from
Cyberpunk or something.
Yeah, it might have been Cyberpunk, and one was from Cyberpunk, and they were all easily converted into the Darkest House characters. So,
and I'll say this on that conversion, which was really cool, is they never lost the essence or flavor of what they originally came from. You could literally see what they were, where they came from, if you knew the systems, so it was actually really nice.
I will say this, right? The Darkest House, its original design was meant as showcasing what you could do online with an online game, and it gave you all the bells and whistles and tools to facilitate a really creepy experience online. Even though the book is phenomenal, if I would recommend someone that had a choice to play, or the GM, one or the other format, between whether playing it online or in person, I would still recommend that the person play it online through the app. But if you were doing both, or you don't have access to play online event, the Darkest House is still worth getting, just to play it as a physical product. Or it's a hell of a tool to have at your disposal if you are running the game online and still having a physical book in front of you. But if someone was to ask me which one they should get, I would still recommend for them to get the app.
Oh yeah, definitely get the app. I agree with you 1,000%, because there's nothing like that experience, and you can always use that, like I said, use it right in the house as well. It just works so well, and there's, like you said, so many other aspects. There's atmospheric aspects that are added to the game to bring it to life.
Yeah, it's awesome part, and I think that's probably the last bang we have. We might have we have some. There was another product for November, and that was the Takings.
That's October. That came out for October. That came out for Halloween.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, so that's the last product for November.
No,
in
for
October they came out with the Takings, This was another PDF product by Charles M. Ryan. This is an adventure that I ran 3 times at Game Con. Absolutely love this adventure. You can either pick this up and individually for $5 if you want to. If you want a cool horror game to run with your group, it can be run in 4 or 5 hours. A great adventure. All the characters are included in it, or it's included in the Adventures of Cypher system and the 10-year anniversary book. If you want to spend a little more money, you can pick it up there as well, or you could just pick up this PDF. But this is actually a great 32-page adventure. Gives you all the pre-generated characters, a bunch of clues. It's just a fun all-around trip.
Yeah, nice mystery, horror mystery.
Yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed it. And I will say this, I ran it 3 times, and it was like 3 different games, because the way the adventure's set up, that it never gives you almost guaranteed never to have the same experience the way you run it.
Right. Well, I think you did say one thing about it, and I absolutely agree, is to have, if you have the opportunity, just to have a little bit of a session 0 with it, because the people need to kind of know their characters and so on and so forth in order for it to unfold kind of organically.
Yeah, not even know the characters. They're giving out all the players are giving out handouts. Right. They should actually read those handouts because it makes the game go a lot.
Yes, exactly.
And for like 2 out of the 3 games that I played, no one read their handouts.
So now, Anthony, because you kept saying November, that was September that was the last thing for. Now we move into November.
No, the Takings was October.
I know you were saying that on the last one, we were still talking about. Yeah. So now we move into November. November gave us what me and Anthony were just talking about, full sets, Planebreaker dice. There was both the regular Planebreaker dice, which were in a lovely purple indigo with this translucent fleck look with specks of gold. They really almost do feel like they glow in your hand. The Planebreaker gripped on the highest results of the D20 and the D6, making them strikingly distinctive. The D20 bears subtle markings for special Cypher system results for 17, 18, and 19. But then they came out with the premium Planebreaker dice set. Oh my God. Talk about pretty, talk about lovely, talk about I want them. They were created by the Metallic Dice Games guy, astonishingly beautiful, large, sharp edge resin dice. They're weighty in the hands, they roll wonderfully. They do flicker and glow in the light, sea green and blue with subtle hints of red. They are probably the most beautiful dice set you own. They could be, And again, the D20 bears, special marks for 17, 18, 19, and 20. I love these dice.
These dice are freaking awesome. And you're not kidding about the premium dice. The premium dice they roll so well. They feel good in your hand. They're freaking beautiful. I wish I would have gotten more than one set. They were a little steep at Game Con. And I knew I was getting one from the Kickstarter back, so I didn't buy one. But now I'm kind of regretting it because my wallet should have made the sacrifice. I should have bought a pair at Game Con as well.
I bought a set because I'm a dice goblin. I have dice issues, as you can see behind me. I like the main lane dice. Those are not all of them. Those are just like a
I'm gonna say this now. I know you and Al both talk about your guys' a dice goblin, but I'm gonna throw this out there. I think I have a collection that can F with y'all, and we gotta actually do a video because I just don't talk about it as much, but I have a good 600-700 sets of dice that I can pull out. We're gonna have a dice off. And I guess
a dice off.
I just don't brag about it as much as you and Al do.
Hey, I'm not bragging. I'm just saying I know I've spent a googog of cash.
I know you spend a lot, but I also I have a good 30 years worth of dice collected under my belt.
Exactly. Yeah, well, and that's what happens. Just because we've been collecting them for so long.
I'm literally looking right now in front of me. I'm looking at How many sets is this? All the metal dice, $80 set. The $100 deluxe set in front of me.
Exactly.
I got some dice. I just don't talk about it as much as you and Al do. We're gonna have to do a dice off.
That sounds like fun. Why not? Let's do it.
I have like 7 years of Gen Con collectible dice sets.
Yeah, these are right here. I got a few.
Yeah, I know you have as well. We buy them together usually.
Yeah, I know. That's right. And you know, it's crazy too, because I actually give away a lot of dice as well. I got this thing that I like to give, especially when I introduce a new person to game, and I like to give them a set of dice. But also in the month of November, we got the Stealing Stories for the Devil by Monte Cook. Everything you need in one box. The PDFs were released. The actual physical products have not been there. I think they said they finally made it, you know, off the shipping container, so they should be coming out soon. But I ran Stealing Stories for the Devil at Gen Con. I ran Stealing Stories for the Devil at Gamehole Con. It is just a pleasure to run. It really is everything you need in one spot. You know, character creation is literally part of the game that actually takes place within the story, which is awesome. You know, Stealing Stories for the Devil contains basically what you need with zero prep: the rules, resources, game components, all in a handsome box. And it's Liars, which is the primary rule book; The Devil, which is the GM book; The Stories They Steal, a GM's reference book filled with resources and information; twist, turns, and mission cards; dice, character reference sheets for players; dozens and dozens of maps, handouts, and other resources. And you know, before I let Anthony talk about it, I just have to say the one cool thing about this, I literally ran it a couple of weeks ago. We had family game night. My wife, who isn't a gamer like me, my son, who is a gamer, and then my daughter, who I've been trying to get the game with me for like 30 years, and she finally sat down and played. And then my other daughter, we all played. It was like great. It was like a blast. It actually was the easiest thing I've done in a long time. So they are not lying about zero prep, one-stop shop, and being able to get a game off the ground, even with people who've never played an RPG before.
All right, I'm gonna say this once again. It's gonna sound like I'm hating, but if you could only buy one version and you didn't back the Kickstarter for the physical product, I would recommend waiting until the actual physical book came out instead of purchasing just the PDF, because you're doing yourself an injustice. We got to look at the physical products in front of us at GameOCon, and man, when I tell you, I had the same feeling unboxing the deluxe edition of Stealing Stories as I had unboxing the, you know, Invisible Sun Cube. You getting that much stuff. You know what I mean? So if you absolutely have to just get the PDF right now, okay, do it. But if you can wait, get the physical book, because we actually have a video with Javier going over all the stuff that is in the deluxe
Oh
set.
my
If
God.
you want to go, you get so much stuff in the Stealing Stories box. It's like it opening up Invisible Sun all over again.
And it really, and the crazy part about what Anthony is saying is it is so much stuff, but the crazy part is like it's all useful. It's all, you know, it's concise. You know, I made my, like, you know, when I got it, I printed up a lot of stuff because I was running it at different conventions and stuff. But you get like, you get these physically in the box, you know, so you get the you know, table tents, and you get, you know, these great character sheets that have like all the reference material you need. You know, you're creating the liar reference sheet. All these things are like right there in the box, you know, and he's not lying.
They have like basically any map you could think of or anything. You need a map of an office building that's in there. You need an
airplane, a physical
subway
jet.
station,
Yeah,
a cruise ship. They have maps of freaking everything in there.
Right. And every stuff that all the stuff in there is so useful. And like you said, the game kind of runs itself once you get it started. And the players, another thing about Stealing Stories for the Devil, the players are literally the players literally kind of do have to work for you as a GM because they set up the scenario as well. And it gives you everything that you need. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's not only do you get a lot of, like what Chad is saying, it's such a great game. It's easy to run, easy to teach. It is literally open the box and play in 10 minutes. And I just from a design perspective, everyone knows I love that in design work. So I'm all for Stealing Stories for the Devil. Phenomenal game. And it was a great way to end the year, because if that's the last product they release it for this year, because they haven't released anything for December yet, and that's the last product on our list, I think it's a great way to end it.
Yeah. And I'll say that
wait for the physical product though.
Something my guy said the black cube is super tough to carry back and forth to the gaming store to run the game. You pretty much have to set it up in one location and leave it there until the game is done.
Yeah, that's because we were talking about me comparing it to the black cube.
Yeah, I know. I was just gonna tell him that's why you have your buddy at the game store have a black cube there that you can use.
Well, now it's hard to find because it's out of print.
Yeah, I know, it's out of print again.
And Mike's mad at me because I'm sitting on 2 copies right now. One open and one closed. He's been trying to get me to sell him one or trading one.
Awesome. So you know what, guys? I mean, first of all, Anthony, question to ask ourselves: what was your favorite product of the year that of this list?
Ooh, that's a tough one, and I think I'm gonna go with. First responders. It's funny because I'm either go with first responders or this sounds like a stupid or the playmat. I really love that playmat.
Like, that's not wrong.
If I knew how to sew, I would sew 2 or 3 of them together and make me a blanket out of it. That's how much I love that playmat.
And for me, well, we already talked about it, but definitely the origins. It's kind of funny that we both come out of the same Kickstarter, the products out of there, but the origin was just an awesome read for me. Like I said, I've not been excited for a setting ever really in my life. I see a setting come out and I know I'm going to use this, and this, but never to look at one as a whole. So the origin for me.
You know what's funny too? I still want to give Break the Horizons an honorable mention because I think that's underrated, phenomenal. Not only is it good for Numenera, it's good for anything Cypher related. And Bruce is actually really good for that. Like all his setting books that I love and admire are all books that I use in other games too. Like just, Worlds Numberless and Strange. It's funny, I don't give Bruce the credit he deserves, but he probably has like 3 of my top 6 favorite MCG books of all time. I apologize, Bruce. I gotta give you more kudos.
I kind of, it's funny that you say that, but that's what it's like. Bruce is just totally and utterly consistent.
Yeah.
Everything he does, I won't say, not to say he's never put out a book that's a 10, but his books consistently are like 8 to 9. You know what I'm saying? They just like sit there and you can't help but use
I know we
them.
disagree, but I think The Strange is a 10 for sure.
Oh, I didn't say, I'm not saying, I said not that, I didn't say none of his books. I said not that he doesn't put out, I'm just saying that every book is no less than an 8 or a 9 as far as Bruce's stuff. They just sit there and, because The Strangers, of course, we agree, The Strange is brilliant.
They said, Chad is mentioning Planebreaker. If it was the Cypher version, that will probably be my number 1, but 5e, wah, wah, wah.
So, was there anything that you thought would have came out this year, but it didn't?
Ooh. Let me think. I thought the Stealing Stories for the Devil physical copy would have been out this year, to be honest. it was expected to be out, but due to shipping and COVID and all that, it's understandable why it isn't. But I thought that would have been out this year, the actual physical copy of the book of the game. I'm thinking, is there anything else that?
For me, I thought we would have had
the superhero supplements out. Is everything out?
all of those are out. Yeah, all that's out. The last thing that came from that Kickstarter was the playmat.
Okay.
See,
Yeah,
for me, what's funny for me, I thought we would have had at least the Cypher system version of Planebreaker by now.
Oh yeah, it's a good one too.
You know,
But that was also a shipping issue, wasn't it?
yeah, I believe. Well, no. Yeah, I think it may have been something to do with shipping as well, or not the shipping, but the printers. It was something to do with the printers. But yeah, that was the one that I really would have, thought would have been out by now, because, Path of the Planebreaker was, ready in August, and now it's December. So, but hey, February.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, that should have definitely been out too. All right, this is a great question. How do you compare this year's crop of MCG products to previous years?
Man, I think this year was jam-packed, comparatively speaking. Not that, like I said, not that any other time with MCG has been, lacking, but this year is just jam-packed.
Dude,
this year's crazy.
This year was good, but last year was better, baby. Last year you had Claim the Sky and Ptolus in the same year, dude.
Are you saying, no, see, you said your question wasn't, to me, the way I looked at it was the amount.
Years.
No, you said compared to the previous year, what was this year's crop of MCG products in the previous year? Last year, yeah, we got Ptolus and Claim the Sky, but I'm saying the number of products that we got this year was kind of massive compared to previous years.
Look,
we got a lot more stuff.
We did a video, we could go back, but all I gotta say is Ptolus and Claim the Sky in the same year. Enough
if we're talking about the products in that respect, yes. But if we're talking about the number of products, then this year was bigger. That's all I'm saying.
No, I think it's the same amount of products, but I'll go with quality over quantity any day.
Well, again, you didn't say quality, but yeah, I agree with you in that respect, because Claim the Sky, that's my jam. Come on, I mean, what the hell?
Dean, I'll give you go. Yes, Anthony, you're right. It was a better year. You're digging yourself a bigger ditch. This is a great year. Don't get me wrong. But
I said what I said.
Last year was better.
Oh man, it's great. But yeah. So, guys in the chat, do you guys have any questions?
2022 was great. 2021 had too many bangers. Let me see if I can pull it up. But I know we did last year. I know we have the show notes somewhere. I'll find them. But I know you had Claim the Sky and Ptolus.
No. Again, if we're just talking about that in that respect, quality, yes, I agree with you. I'm not even going to argue that point, because, like I said, I got Claim the Sky last year. I danced a jig.
What else did we get last year? Oh, we got Darkest House too, right?
You got the Darkest House as a digital product last year. Yeah. There was last year was a good year. What else did we? Oh, we got the Numenera playmat last year.
Mm-hmm. I'm trying to think of anything else that was big last year. No, I think that was it really for big books last year. I mean, Ptolus and Claim the Sky were the two bangers.
Yeah. Well, you remember
Stay Alive and God Forsaken? No, I think.
No, that was the previous year. No, last year. Remember, last year we were getting the last of the stuff from the Kickstarter that Break the Horizon was in. So we got Voices of the Data Sphere.
Yeah, I apologize. Chat brought up a good thing. Oh, we got the open gaming license this year.
That's true.
I might have to take my opinion back, because that might be for 2023, because that might be a game changer. But that is.
Oh yeah, but I'm just saying again. Six and one half dozen of the other. It's Monte Cook Games. We got a lot of good shit.
Yeah. I mean, this year was phenomenal. This year was phenomenal, no doubt. But
and then look, in 2023 is going to shape up to be kind of crazy because I mean, aren't we getting old gods in 2023?
Yeah, we should be.
Yeah, so I'm saying it's
Is the weird 2023 or 2024?
Weird's 2023, I think, as well, and I think, and we're getting old gods, and we're also going to get title blades.
Oh no, we got title blades.
No, we just got the title blade PDF. The physical books have not been released
yet.
And the game boxes have not been released yet.
Oh yeah, next year might be ridiculous, dude.
Yeah, title blades the title blades physical book, the title blades board game, the title blades minis are all coming next year.
And I think my gut feeling is that Old Gods is gonna be bonkers.
Old Gods is gonna crush.
Yeah, it's gonna be bonkers.
It's gonna crush. Oh God, because it's like every other week we got somebody asking, hey, any news on Old Gods? I want to run a game. You guys want to run a game? Want to play? So yeah, Old Gods.
What else I mean, the Weird got kickstarted this year. Old Gods was at the beginning of the year, or was that last year?
No, it's the beginning of this year.
Well, we're gonna make a whole video on that next week, but yeah, next 2023 might be better than the next. But that's a good problem to have, right? We're like arguing, my Ferrari or my Porsche, because every year is a freaking great year.
Right. And just so everybody knows out there, next week's show will be Thursday night, not Wednesday, because it's my wife's birthday and Anthony has a Christmas party or something he got to go to.
Yeah, it's my wife's office dinner that I have to, holiday dinner I have to attend.
Right. So, and just for everybody's purposes, it looks like, the CU show, our live show, might be moving to Thursday nights permanently, but not just yet. But we'll let everybody know that as well. Anybody out there in the chat got anything else they want to say to us before we start wrapping everything up?
Or any questions you want to ask us?
Or any questions, Jerry? Yeah.
Specifically about, because they've been saying stuff all chat, Dean.
Oh, Yago's one said, I have to run a birthday related game for her. If she wants one, I'll make sure it happens, But and I'll let her know you guys said happy birthday. We really that's right, run Sally.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Guys, what do you guys think? Do you guys think that this was a great year for products for MCG? Do you think last year was a better year, or do you think 2023 is going to be better? What's your overall take on all this? Let us know in chat, or if you're watching this on YouTube, let us know in the comment section below. And if we ran too long, then let us know that as well. Or if you want to tell us you hate us, let us know that as well. Any interaction is good interaction in our books. And if you like us and you like what we do, visit the Cypher Unlimited Discord server for all things Monte Cook Games. We have 4,000 members and growing. If you want to subscribe here on Twitch, it will be greatly appreciated. Or go to our YouTube channel and like, share, and subscribe there. We hit 1,000 subs on YouTube and we're trying to grow to 2,000. Let's make it happen. If you want to, our videos are always free, but if you want to support us financially in some way, give us a donation on Ko-fi. It helps us out with little things like Zoom calls. Or visit our online store and pick up some cool Cypher Unlimited merch there, like the shirt that Dean got on and the hat that I got on. And last but not least, we love you guys.
All right.
And yeah, thank you everyone for coming by, having a little chat with us. Here behind the scenes again, I've been typing away the whole time. But yeah, it's been a splendid talk. Next week we'll talk about the Kickstarters they launched this year, Monte Cook Games. And yeah, that's going to give us a good overview of what to expect for 2023, which, like we were saying, is probably going to be jam-packed with bangers. But yeah, thanks again, everybody. Have a wonderful night. And from us at the CU, we will see you later. Take it easy.